Thanks for watching episode 2 of Chasing Frames with Tamara Lackey. It was really inspiring to see Andrea overcome such difficult odds and race in over 30 marathons. One thing that also stood out to me was just how dedicated she was to the races, and on most occasions would finish and say, "When's the next one?" Her story was incredible to watch, and I'm super excited to take a look at some of the shots that Tamara captured. So let's head into On One Photo Raw 2020, and let's see some of the frames from Andrea's journey. So now we're in Photo Raw 2020, and we have a lot of amazing frames from Andrea's episode here. But one photo that's really standing out to me right off the bat is this photo of Andrea and David. At the beginning of the episode, Tamara sat down with them to chat about ALS, all their wonderful years of marriage, and Andrea's future plans for racing. So I think this is a great photo to start editing with. So now we're inside the edit module of Photo Raw. And before I develop my tone and color, the first thing I want to do to this photo is just crop it a little bit. So I'm just going to hit C on my keyboard to grab my crop tool, and I'm going to make sure I have freeform selected. And then I can just pull this top down, just like that. And there we go, just sort of a basic crop on the image, nothing too crazy. So now we can head over to our Develop tab, and we can start modifying our tone and color. And since Tamara's an amazing portrait photographer, I'm not going to modify too much of the tone and color. I'm probably just going to modify my camera profile and then a couple sliders a bit. So let's head down to our tone and color, and let's go to our camera profiles, and I really like this On One portrait. I think it really helps to bring out some of those shadowy tones and make the image not so contrasty. But by adding that On One portrait camera profile, it's brightened up the image. So let's head down to our tone sliders here, and I'll just pull back on the exposure about 1/4 of a stop. So now that I've dimmed this photo a bit, I need to pull out some of the skin tones. And skin tones are usually midtones. So let's head down to our midtone slider, and I'll just pull up on the midtones to brighten those up a bit. Probably about right there. And since we're pulling up on our midtones, we probably could add in a little bit more contrast. So let's go up to our contrast slider, and we'll pull up on the contrast a bit. Perfect. So let's hit the backslash key on our keyboard. And I really like how that looks for the foundational look of this shot. So now that we've developed the basic tone and color, I want to add a local adjustment layer to tone down this area on the bottom of this image. So I'm going to head into my local adjustment tab. And with this new local adjustment layer, I'm going to make sure it's set to darken. And then I'm going to hold down Shift and hit K on my keyboard. And that's going to grab me my adjustable gradient tool. And I'm going to head up to my top tool modifier bar here. And in my presets, I'm going to choose linear top. So now if I drop this down near the bottom of the photo, it dims down this area really well. And I can just pull this up with this big handle, and I'll just feather it a little bit. So if we head over to this local adjustment layer, I like what that does with toning down this bottom area, because then we can really just focus on Andrea and David here. So now if we hit the backslash key on our keyboard to see the original, I really think that's all that needs to be done to this shot. Tamara did an awesome job taking this portrait, so a few sliders and a local adjustment went a long way. So let's head back into Browse, and let's grab one more photo. So now we're back in Browse, and let's take a look at some of these other photos here. And it wouldn't be an episode about an athlete without some nice action shots. And one photo that stands out to me is this photograph here. I really love this photo of Andrea. It just looks like she's having such a blast racing in the marathon. So let's take it into the edit module, and let's start modifying it. So for this photo, I think it would look great in a black and white. But before we convert it to a black and white, let's go in and let's crop a little bit. So I'm just going to hit C on my keyboard to grab my crop tool. I'm going to head up and make sure I have a 2x3 selected. And then I'll just pull in on this corner a little bit. Right there. Perfect. So now I can just hit enter. And I think that helps remove some excess areas around Andrea. So now that we've cropped this photo, let's head into our Develop tab here. And inside Tone and Color, I don't want to modify too many of these sliders. Tamara's an amazing portrait photographer and really knows what she's doing in the field. So all I'm going to do is just head down to this new AI Auto feature. And you can see it does an awesome job of just livening up the tones and colors in this photograph for me. So if we hit the backslash key on our keyboard, it's a very subtle boost, but I like what it's doing to this shot. So now with the tone and color modified, I'm going to head into effects, and I can start adding these different filters to create a black and white photo. The first filter I want to add is I'm actually going to add a sunshine filter. So I'll add a filter, we'll add sunshine, and I don't want this applied to the entire photograph. If I turn this off and on, it really brightens up the image. But I only want it applied to this area near Andrea's face. I'm going to hit M on my keyboard to grab my masking bug. I'm going to head up to my shape, and I'm going to choose edges. So now if I drop this down, the sunshine filter is only going to be applied inside this mask. So I'll make this mask a little bit smaller. I can rotate it with this handle, and I'll just position it over Andrea. And then we'll just feather this a little bit. Just like that. So now if I turn the sunshine filter off and on, see how it brings a lot of light right into her face right there? I really like what that does to this portrait. So now let's add another filter, and let's add a vignette filter. And I really like this big softy preset. And now to position it so it's not on Andrea here, I'm going to grab this positioning tool, and I'll just click right here. There we go. So now if I turn this off and on, does an awesome job of toning this area down around Andrea. And I think I could go into this vignette filter and I could even brighten it up a little bit so it's not so dark. About right there is perfect. So now let's convert this photo to a black and white. We'll add a filter, and let's add our black and white filter. And if I turn this black and white filter off, I can see that there's a lot of green in this image. So let's turn it back on, and we can just click our green preset. Perfect. So now let's hit the backslash key on our keyboard. And I really like what the black and white does to this portrait. It really makes Andrea's smile stand out in this shot. Thanks for watching episode 2 of Chasing Frames and following along inside On1 Photo Raw 2020.